welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to try and pull back the curtain on one of the buzziest technologies out there, generative AI. It seems to be everywhere, right? Creating art, writing code, you name it. But the big question is, how does it all really work?
I mean, you've definitely seen the headlines. Maybe you've even played around with these tools yourself, had one write an email for you or create some wild image. But beyond the hype, how on earth does a machine go from just a line of text to creating something so complex? Something that feels, well, totally new.
Okay, so let's break this down. At its very heart, generative AI isn't creating from nothing. It's not magic. Think of it more like the world's most incredible remix artist. It's been fed a truly massive amount of data. We're talking huge, huge chunks of the internet. And its whole job is to find the patterns, the connections, the rhythms, and all that information. And then it uses those patterns to generate something that feels completely original.
So that's the what. But what can you actually do with this thing? What does it all look like when the rubber meets the road? Well, turns out, you can do a whole lot.
Let's kick things off with the creative side of things because, honestly, that's where you can really see the massive impact these tools are already having in pretty much every field you can imagine.
We're talking about everything from chatbots that can hold conversations that are so human-like it's a little bit spooky, to generating incredible art from just a single sentence. Designers are using it to brainstorm concepts in minutes that would have taken them days before. And get this, it's even being used to create synthetic data to train other AIs, which creates this fascinating, wild, self-improving loop.
All of this really does seem like magic, doesn't it? But, like any good magic trick, once you know the secret, you realize there's just a really, really clever method behind it all.
So here it is, the big secret. The AI doesn't understand art or poetry or humor the way a person does. Its real strength, its superpower, is an absolutely incredible ability to predict what should come next, the most probable next word in a sentence, the most likely next pixel in an image, all based on the countless patterns it has learned.
Now, the engine that drives most of the text generation you see is the large language model, or LLM for short. It's this enormous deep learning model that's been trained on, quite literally, billions and billions of text samples from the internet and beyond. This gigantic library is what gives it all of that predictive power.
So how does a machine actually learn to read? Well, it's basically a three-step process. First up, tokenization. The AI breaks down sentences into smaller, meaningful chunks called tokens. Then, embedding. This is where it converts those tokens into long lists of numbers called vectors that represent their meaning mathematically. And finally, and this is absolutely key, positional encoding. The model maps out where each word is in the sentence. Because, as we're about to see, order is everything.
And this is where it gets kind of mind-blowing. This vector math actually works. The model can literally do math with the meanings of words. Just think about that quote. You can take the number representation for biggest, subtract the one for big, and add the one for small, and you get the number representation for smallest. It's incredible. It means the model isn't just memorizing words, it's learning the relationships between them.
For example, think about this sentence. The cat sat on the man. The words are pretty simple, right? Cat, sat, man. The model knows what those words are through its embedding. But when we just flip two of them around, the man sat on the cat, we get a completely different meaning, a much more alarming one, actually. This is exactly why that positional encoding step is so critical. It's what helps the model understand that the placement of words can create two very, very different scenarios. Okay, so now that we have a bit of a sense of the engine under the hood, how do we, the users, actually steer this thing? Well, that all comes down to the art of the prompt. This is where we come in. Prompt engineering, it's just the art and science of crafting the perfect input to get the output you actually want. I love this idea of word coding. That's a great way to think about it. The quality of your words, the detail you provide, directly shapes the quality of what the AI spits out. You can see the difference right here. A simple prompt, a city, gets you, well, a generic city. It's fine. But look at the detailed prompt. A futuristic, hopeful, busy city. Purple and green color scheme. Boom. Suddenly you get something that has a vibe,
a style, something that's much closer to what you had in your head. So this technology is obviously transformative. But like any tool that's this powerful, it comes with some pretty significant challenges and risks that we really need to talk about.
It really is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you have amazing things like super efficient content creation and design iteration. But on the other hand, you have the very real potential for misuse, like deepfakes. You have huge questions around intellectual property, the risk of getting answers you can't trust, and of course, major concerns about data privacy.
And we have to keep coming back to this one central idea. It's so important. The AI doesn't understand, it predicts. It is a pattern matching machine, which means it is just as capable of predicting text that's totally false or nonsensical as it is of predicting something that's true. It's just following the patterns.
This leads to a problem that people in the field call hallucination. And it's when the AI just makes stuff up. It states something completely wrong, but it does it with total confidence, just because it's a statistically plausible but incorrect combination of words.
And I am sure you have seen the visual version of this. It's the fingers problem. You see these incredible AI-generated images of people, but when you look closely at their hands, they've got like 6 or 7 fingers. It's a dead giveaway that the AI is just matching patterns. It knows pictures of people have hands with fingers, but it has zero real understanding of human anatomy.
And beyond just getting things wrong, there are other major hurdles. There are massive questions about intellectual property and copyright. They can be tricked by malicious users into doing things they shouldn't. And a big one, because they learn from text written by humans, they can easily pick up and even amplify all of our worst societal biases.
And this all matters so much because the scale here is just staggering. By January 2023, just 2 months after it launched, ChatGPT became the fastest-growing consumer app in history. It hit over 100 million users. This isn't some niche technology anymore. It is actively reshaping our world in real time.
So, as we stand here at this new frontier, it leaves us with one final big thought to chew on. As we build these machines that can create, what are we really learning about our own creativity? These tools aren't just changing how we make things. They're holding up a mirror, forcing us to ask what it is that truly makes us human. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.